What's going on? What's going on, YouTube? What's going on, man? I'm just I'm riding, just thinking, reflecting and shit. Been home now 10 years. Just reflecting. Once I came home, the homie was like, "Man, you gonna start the magazine company up again?" I knew it took some money and finance to get it up and running, but I had to make a wait. So when I came home, I got into property preservation. Started a landscape company, so I'm a landscape contractor now. That's how I make my bread. I'm a landscape contractor. That kind of, just solidified that I ain't got to go nowhere unless I leave the earth. But I can stay out here and get money. The system is designed for us to go to prison and come out and be fucked up. A lot of people don't understand that. There's so many of them in prison that the odds are once you get out and say you do a long bid, 20 years, 30 years, you coming out, your credit may be bad because your baby mama put you on child support. And then on top of that, you starting all over from fresh. And if you ain't going there and getting no education, and you don't really have no sense of direction or purpose of what you're gonna come out here and do, you might end up going back. That's the reality of it. So I advise anybody who just getting out of prison or in prison and you see this video, man, focus on education. Education, learning what's important. Because the odds are that most guys getting out of prison after doing a long bid probably gonna end up in a rooming house or out in the street homeless. Because they ain't teaching us to buy property. That's one thing they ain't doing. That's not even in the conversation. I talk to so many young guys getting out of prison, and I always ask them, man, how many of y'all in there, when y'all in there talking about, what the conversation be about? Well, most of the conversation be about buying some jewelry, cars, clothes, fucking some hoes, buying them a scrap, a switch, Gucci or designer, all that type of shit. But none of that shit is an asset, and how they'll slide and do all this and this, but none of that shit is an asset. So I told my son, he just got out. I said, man, the conversation should be about buying some property. Coming out buying you some property. I don't care if it's a 2-bedroom house, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, or 1-bedroom, 1 bath. At least come out here and work towards getting you a house, getting you something of your own. So as you age and mature, you got something. You ain't left out here in the streets, and you ain't got to depend on no woman to give you a place to live. But that's how most of the guys end up. Then check your OGs, check them. Most of them end up depending on the female to find someone from the state. Let's check it out. That's how it go. We stay dependent on the female to find us a place to stay. And it is, and that don't mean that make you no less than a man, but I'm just telling you that's how the system's designed. It's supposed to be the other way around. We're the ones supposed to be buying the land to provide shelter for the woman. Not the woman providing shelter for us. That's the difference. You see? It's supposed to be us. And if you're a young man and you have a mom and she has a place and she had to keep this place for y'all to live in, and when you came out of prison you had a place to go back to, it's your job now to make sure she can keep that, and you're supposed to add on to that. That's your job. You add on to what you already got. But most of us let our parents die off and can't do nothing but let the property go and get sold because we ain't got the education to keep it, or we ain't got the finances to keep it. And that's sad, man. Just pay attention to your community, pay attention to your environment, see what's going on. And there's a lot of us been in the streets for years that still don't buy no property, still don't think about buying nothing for themselves. A 2-bedroom house, 1 bath, man. It's an old homie from my hood, Juggernaut, a long time ago. Bought him a house right there down the street in the hood. It was a small house, but guess what? He fixed it up to be a mansion for himself, and guess what? He still got it today. I'm saying, man, most of us, dog, come home from prison, most of them gonna end up homeless, depending on the female to find them a place to stay. And it's supposed to be the other way around. It's supposed to be the other way around. For real. It's supposed to be the other way around, man. It ain't no law saying that you can't own nothing. Ain't no law saying that you can't own no house. That is a programming that been put in our head from when the dope game became popular. See, when the dope game became popular, the conversation was, hey man, don't put it in your name. They're going to take it from you. Put it in your mama name, your girl name, your sister name. Every time you had to get something, the conversation was, or the programming was, put it in somebody else's name besides yours, because you can't own nothing, because you're in the streets. That was the conversation. So that was penetrated in a lot of our head to think that we can't own nothing. It's against the law, because they're going to take it from us. That's programming. It ain't no law saying we can't own nothing. Ain't no law out here saying that we can't own anything. That's the programming. A lot of young dudes in the streets right now scared to put stuff in their name because the programming. So that mentality follow us for a long time. Especially you end up going to prison and you get back out here in the streets again, you automatically think you can't own nothing but a car, some clothes, and some jewelry, and fuck some hoes. That's it. That's all you think you can do. That's all you think you can accomplish. You're scared to put anything in your name because you don't want the people to take it from you. That's programming. That's programming. You got to understand that. You can own something. You can own something. The banks are the real plug. It ain't the dudes in the street. It ain't the OYAs with the sacks. It's the banks. The banks are the real plug. I tell all my little homies, the bank's the plug, dog. Deal with the banks. They gonna front you to work. You flip the work. That's all it is. The bank's the plug. But if you're scared to put your money in the bank legitly and file taxes, you can't get the trust of the plug to do business with them. Unless you're gonna put up your own cash, and that's street money. Once again, now you forced in the streets. And now you forced to try and prove how you came up with this money. Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all don't see the game they playing on you? You spend 20, 30 years out here in the street, and you can't really make the moves you really want to make. You got to kind of live on unless you got a 5 female on your team who ain't gonna go nowhere, who gonna keep it 100. And once again, that's how the play goes sometimes. That's how the play goes sometimes. I mean, sometimes you got to use that to convert over. But once you convert over, man, you convert over. You don't go backwards. Once you convert over and start dealing with the banks, you don't go backwards. It is what it is, man. I'm just keeping it 1,000 with you, man. Most of us that go to prison, when we come out, we're not thinking about buying no houses, not buying no homes, not buying no type of real estate, no nothing. Most of us ain't thinking that way because the programming is for us to believe that we have to depend on a woman, your baby mama, your girlfriend, to have a place to stay for you. You come there and pay the bills. That's how it's programmed. That's how it's designed. I'm telling you, it's supposed to be the other way around. You as a man is supposed to come out here and build your foundation. Have you something, buy you something, dog. I don't care if it's a 1-bedroom crib, 2-bedroom, 4, whatever you want. Just buy you something so you can own something, bro. Ain't no law saying we can't own it. Ain't no law. But they program it that way. That's what they do. They program us that way, homie. So that's all. I'm just dropping some information, man. I'm riding out of town to go see my people. And I just had this on my mind, so I'm just gonna share it with you guys. And keep it 100. But remember, man, ain't no law saying we can't own nothing. You know, change the conversation. Land ownership, home ownership, man. For you guys getting out of prison, man. You the power, you the future. Believe me, you the future. They the ones, they scared of y'all. If y'all get y'all mind right, y'all already disciplined. You come out here and be disciplined, y'all the ones, man. Trust me. Y'all the one who can change the world. Make it happen or you capping.